Hey, thanks for dropping by to the Planners on Purpose podcast, created by Naomi Tucker, CMP. Now, this space is for the event planners to encourage and empower you so that you can fully live your life on purpose. So before we dig in, please take a moment to subscribe so you get future shows. Now, here she comes, your host, Naomi.
Well, hello, my friends. This is Naomi. I'm happy to be here today for another episode here on Planners on Purpose podcast. I truly hope that you're doing well and that you're just being amazing at everything you do. And I'm looking forward to a new week. It's a new week that we're going to embark on here in a few hours. And I wanted to come and talk about the science of busyness and talk about busyness in our lives. And is being busy necessary or is it not necessary? And I know that there can be arguments on both sides, but I'm here to basically argue that you don't have to be so busy and we can stop being busy. And there are some tasks that we can possibly let go of that we're working on in our lives to be able to relieve ourselves of some of those busy tasks, thus allowing us to experience a little bit more calm and ease in our days. So I'm excited to open up this conversation. But first, I want to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Naomi Tucker. I am a business strategist and burnout prevention coach, and I empower event professionals to stress less, live more, and live a life of purpose. If that is you, you are in the right place. I say welcome. And if it isn't you, you are absolutely welcome to be here and stick around as well. I just really love helping event professionals to see easier ways of working, to understand some of the reasons why perhaps we're in situations where we are burned out, and really to also help them liberate out of the busy, out of the burnout into a more just ease of life, right? And it doesn't mean that we have to stop working or quit our jobs all the time. Sometimes those things are necessary, but it does mean that we probably can choose to think differently about how we work and think differently about where we work, how we work, and all of the things. There are, let's say, habits that we have, and when we do those habits and we stack those habits up, they end up being habits that aren't necessary, right? So, for example, you may be at work, you may eat at your desk, you may send some emails out, you are a multitasker, you also check your Facebook while you're in the middle of the day. And when we're doing those things, those are like these super small, tedious things that happen during our day, but they also are things that allow us to just continue to say that we are busy all of the time. So ultimately, we aren't necessarily working on that big thing that we need to do. We're multitasking and all of these little things, and it ends up being where that's what sets in the busy. So we want to ensure that we're not necessarily being busy for the sake of being busy. And there are ways that we can end up being addicted to our busyness. We're in a world where we have constant connection and competition, and we probably have loaded ourselves up with certain tasks that we have to do. And because we have all those things going on, we go through our days on autopilot just doing all those things. We check our emails 15 times a day. We, take calls or IMs from our coworkers about little things. We get drawn into these little fires that we don't necessarily have to be drawn into. And meanwhile, we have a doctor's appointment here, have to pick up the kids here to go to gymnastics practice or soccer practice or wherever it is. We could be constantly busy. And then we can also be addicted to the busyness because it doesn't always go away, right? So, and busyness does something to us. It does something to our brains. It raises our cortisol levels because we are just on all of the time. And when our cortisol levels are so high, we're always in like this constant state of stress. And it's no wonder that it has been said that the levels of stress in America have increased in recent years. And up to, I believe, 1/3 of Americans, they're suffering right now and they're in a chronic stress in the workplace. Well, a lot of that is because we are putting ourselves into this situation where we have these enhanced levels of cortisol as a baseline. And then when you do experience a major stressor in terms of getting a deadline completed, or maybe another project comes in, that can send up our cortisol levels even more. And that can just plunge our whole body into some crisis mode, putting us at risk for other things like burnout, of course, and even things like, heart disease or other complications with our health. So stress is something that many of us, especially in the United States, we have grown used to. But just because we're growing used to doesn't mean that our body doesn't still feel that stress and even feel that chronic stress. And we definitely need to be more aware of it, because although we feel like we're used to it, our bodies are still experiencing this stress and addicted to the act of doing. So it's no surprise that there's more than 50% of us that are just doing something all of the time. And we become addicted to doing. It's hard for us to sit still, for us to reflect and think if our next steps are the next steps we should be taking. It takes a lot of intentionality to be able to do that. However, that is exactly the way that we undo the busy in our lives. And I'll give you a few ways that you can undo the busy from your life, right? And many of these ways are things that you probably have already heard. And so it's all about practicing being a little bit present with some of the things that we do throughout the day. It's being intentional about our to-do list as we're going into our work week, as we go into every single day. Putting out there, hey, here's 3 things that I need to get done. Come hell or high water, I have to get these 3 things done. Everything else that happens today, it doesn't matter, but these 3 things need to get done, right? So putting your big 3 or your big to-do items on your list and sticking to that, starting with those first. And then if there's other small tasks that you need to do, like check your email, respond to a colleague, all those little things, that can come after you get your majors done. And there'll be so much relief, especially like when I have done this. I've done this for a long time, but when I've done that, it's just so much relief in actually completing those things and knowing that, I've gotten everything done that I need to do for myself. You're so much more at peace, and anything that comes in is just extra. It feels so much better starting off your day that way. Another thing that you can do is just take time to connect with people when you're able to connect to them, instead of just randomly sending off emails. Maybe give them a phone call and just say, hey, can we jump on a Zoom or a Teams meeting really quick to just talk through your questions and connect with them, listen to them, and have an actual conversation where you can smile with them. You could do this in person too. If you are in an in-person office or you do have that opportunity to meet in person, just take time to connect with people. And literally that connection that you're able to have really will help you to just get out of that next busy thing that you need to do. Another thing that you can do during the day is really disconnect, because some of the distractions that allow us to just be quote unquote busy are the things that occur in front of us, the random surfing on the internet that you probably shouldn't be doing, but you're doing anyway, checking your Facebook and your Instagram and TikTok and all the things during your day also can prevent you from doing the things that you need to do. So try to disconnect, and a good habit to actually instill is going for a walk without your phone. Just leaving your phone, going for a little walk around your block, or if you're in an office, go around your office without your phone. And when you're doing that, you're not even thinking about your email or thinking about your phone. You're literally just observing everything that's around you. So try to go out for a walk, and when you're out there, engage all of your senses. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? How does the ground feel when your feet are on the ground? Those are some things that can help you and help your mind get out of the state of always having to do. And then finally, just consider your whole purpose. What are you there for? What lights you up, right? And get more centered on doing those things. And that usually aligns like what your to-do list is during the day. Just make sure that the things that you're working on are things that really you're going to be so fulfilled and happy when those are complete. And of course, there could be some other things for other people that you need to do as well, but make sure you are taken care of first. Fill up your cup before you fill up others. So that is all that I had for you today. I hope that this was helpful. Definitely try to put a little bit more reflection into your day and try to stop always doing things, filling up space with the little things. Try to, when you find yourself doing that, checking your phone, surfing the internet, doing something just random, and it could even be eating, right? Just like eating at your desk and things like that. Just take a deep breath, stop, and just reflect like, why am I doing this? What else can I do? And really break yourself out of the busy mindset. I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful week coming up, and I look forward to speaking with you on the next episode. And until next time, please stay on purpose.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, hit the like button and tell us how much you enjoyed the show by leaving a message in the comments. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.